My mom has a huge potbelly pig as a pet. She rescued him from a farm and he's 7 years old, I believe. Back when I was planning my wedding, my mom kept on trying to add things to my wedding specifically for the pig. For example, she wanted him to have his own buffet. I turned all our ideas down and told her her pig would not be attending my wedding. Even after I told her I didn't want him at the wedding, she tried to get me to plan my wedding around him. She told me that she needed him to be there because he's her support animal. He isn't a registered support animal, even though he brings her a lot of comfort. In my husband's culture, pigs are seen as dirty animals, and it would be absolutely unfitting for me to have a pig at our wedding, especially because it would be disrespectful to his family. Well, my mom decided to bring her pet pig to my wedding anyway, even after I told her not to, and she showed up late. I could tell my husband was highly upset with it, but stopped me when I went to confront her because he didn't want his new mother-in-law to hate him. My sister-in-law ended up getting scared because the pig rubbed up against her, which caused the pig to get scared and run off and bump into some expensive glass decorations, which ended up falling and breaking into pieces. I was beyond angry at my mom. This would have never happened if she didn't bring her pig to my wedding, so I yelled at her to leave. She blamed me for not making my wedding pet friendly. Like, why would I change my wedding up for a pig guest that wasn't even supposed to attend? My mom sent me a long message telling me how I humiliated her in front of my in-laws, and that now she's embarrassed to show her face around them, and that if I just would have set the wedding up the way she suggested to me, none of this would have happened. Am I the idiot? Bruh, she brought a pig to your wedding? Sorry, this gave me a good chuckle. And it's offensive to the groom's culture, and she still did it? No, you were absolutely right to have her take the pig and leave, but I'd also make her pay every cent for the bill to replace the glass. Her pig, her responsibility. She was entitled and rude for bringing her pig and letting it go willy-nilly. Not the idiot. Your mother's complete and blatant disrespect for your boundaries and wishes for your day is appalling. You've warned her about the pig numerous times, and she continued to disregard your wishes. Sounds to me like she needs to do some self-reflection and remind herself that it's not her wedding to dictate. If she wants to have her pig at her wedding, she can go and renew her vows if your parents are still together, or get remarried. I'd have been a lot less patient. Exactly. OP would have had the same right to say no, even if it was a potty-trained and mute handbag chihuahua. Weddings are not for pets, unless it's the bridal couple's pets they want to include. I can't believe Mom's nerve saying that OP humiliated her. I'd be humiliated, having such an ill-mannered, selfish, tone-deaf mother. This right here, the mental image of the poor uninvited pig, the unsuspecting guest, just all of it has me LOLOL. OP, I'm sorry your wedding wasn't how you envisioned it or deserved it. Definitely not the idiot here, but your mother sure is. Your mom needs professional help. Like, who the heck brings livestock to a wedding unless specifically asked to? Moreover, you told her not to. Honestly, I would have stopped her the second she arrived with the pig. Like, get the heck out now. I told you not to bring the pig. Now you miss out on the wedding. Just take the pig and go. I'd be telling her not to talk to me again until she apologizes and pays for all the damages. And no contact. My 19 female brother and his now wife got married last month, and apparently I caused an issue so disastrous that it's being talked about a month later. I'm not super close with my brother's wife, Jess, but close enough that we talk sometimes. I hate wearing dresses due to personal issues, so Jess helped me pick one in my style and comfort. It was a dark green dress with black lace and spaghetti straps. Jess said I could wear Doc Martens and keep my piercings in. I only have like 5. Looking at myself all dolled up was the first time I liked my appearance. Everything was fine until the reception. My brother comes up to me and tells me I need to change. I ask, why? He says Jess is upset that I've upstaged her. I was super confused. She picked the dress. I asked what the issue was. Well, apparently the dress was more fitted than Jess initially realized, and she was feeling insecure about her body. Here's where I might be the idiot. I refused to get changed. I told my brother he's marrying a model. Not that they can't have insecurities, but that I'm sure my 5'1", 180-pound self looks like a goblin next to her. He told me to get changed or leave. I ended up sitting outside the venue with all the stoners, so I had a fun time anyway. It's been a month and my brother still isn't over it. He called me selfish, even though I left. I tried to apologize to Jess, but she told me not to worry about it. But her tone also seemed annoyed. The kicker is, Jess's aunt has been making comments about it online, which hasn't made things any easier. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She literally picked out the dress for you. Just because you looked better in it than she thought you would, doesn't give her the right to try and have you change. Exactly. And for brother to insist she change the dress, in what would she change? To wrap tablecloth around herself? I don't know about others, but when I went to my 3 siblings' weddings, I just had a dress that I wore with me, not a closet full of extra dresses in case that bride might have a bridezilla tantrum fit. OP, tell brother to get over himself. The world doesn't go around him and his wife. It's been 1 month since the wedding, so he needs to put on his big boy pants and grow up, instead of behaving like an insulted princess. I'm also wondering if the bride meant for OP to look frumpy and then got mad when the dress fit really well. Her plan backfired? This definitely reeks of a setup. Either OP looked better than the bride thought she would, or the bride knew it would look great on her and picked it out so she'd have something to throw a fit about at the wedding. I'm not sure this is accurate. I don't see where OP said the brother was asking at Jess's behest. Jess may have just commented, expressed her insecurities, and her brother decided to white knight the situation. Or maybe he's a controlling creep. I was at one wedding where the groom was so stressed out about appearances that he made a bridesmaid take off her undies so no panty lines would show. Man, I was glad my friend, the bride, loved him because I would have noped right out of that. I, 24 female, love baking and love sharing my baked goods too. I generally get along with everyone else in the office, except for this one guy, 36, which I will call Leo, not his real name. I wasn't on very good terms with him because of the events that happened years ago when I first joined the company as a fresh graduate. Leo complained that I'm lazy and hates cleaning up after my mistakes. I asked him for mentoring help to generate the reports as he expected, but he didn't want to. Instead, he asked me to look at his reports and follow his style. Fortunately, I was redeployed to another role in the same department with a better mentor. We don't talk to each other since. My birthday fell on a Sunday, so I decided to bake cupcakes for everyone in the office as a form of celebration to be given on Friday of that week. I considered baking one for him, but decided against it because how he tried to share food but was rejected. I believed that even if I made him the cupcake, he would turn it down in a way that would make me lose face in front of everyone in the office. For practical reasons too, I decided to make 24 cupcakes, only have a 12-hole cupcake tray. There would be 2 rounds of baking. There were 25 people in the office excluding me. So on Friday, I came into the office with a box of cupcakes, which took me the whole night to bake, and I also woke up early to put the frosting on. Right after lunch, I went from table to table, offering my colleagues a cupcake, and everyone appreciated it. When I reached Leo's table, I tried offering it to him. As expected, he said no, but in a manner I find to be pretty respectful. After distributing the cupcakes, one of my colleagues approached me and asked for the extra cupcake that Leo rejected. I told my colleague I baked just enough for the office, excluding Leo, so there was no extra cupcake. My colleague looked shocked, so I told her that baking the cupcakes didn't come cheap, and since Leo would reject it anyway, I didn't bake more. I also told her about the limits of my oven and that I just simply didn't have enough time to do 3 rounds of baking, only to be turned down at the end. When I came back on Monday, word had apparently spread to everyone in my department how Leo didn't get a cupcake, and I left him out intentionally. Leo didn't say anything to me about the cupcake thing, but I was told by a colleague that he was really upset and he really loved cupcakes and would have come around if I had just left some in the fridge and left him alone to get it. So, am I the idiot for baking 24 cupcakes instead of more? I could do just 1 more round in the oven with 1 or 2 more cupcakes, but it would be a waste of electricity and my time. I think you're not the idiot for not baking the extra cupcake, but you should have kept the details to yourself. Oh, I only baked 24 because I knew from experience that not everyone would take one, and I only had 24 cupcake slots to work with. Would have been sufficient. Yes, except still giving too much explanation. The response should have been, sorry, none left. Why the heck do we always feel the need to explain ourselves? You are the idiot for explaining and making it public that you and Leo have a conflict. It was unnecessary to provide a vivid description to your coworker. This could have been avoided. OP, you dug this hole yourself, giving TMI. Yep, I agree with this. It's fully reasonable to bake 24 total based on the tray, but completely unnecessary to A, walk around serving them anyway, and B, go into detail about your intentions to leave one particular person out. For future reference, it's best practice to set out the boxes in a shared space, office, kitchen, break room, front desk, etc. Shoot out an email telling people to get them while they last. But OP is a 24-year-old woman in an office. I would have totally over-explained myself at 24. The life experience it takes to realize you aren't still a kid being yelled at and not everyone deserves an explanation comes later from crap like this. Oh, and Leo, boy, you're 36. Take a cupcake in front of people instead of slithering to get one in silence later. Hate people whose own pedantic nature requires extra maneuvers on my part to bend to their overcomplicated thought process. I will do this for children and the elderly, not for a 36-year-old crybaby dude. I, 28 female, have an older sister, 33. Our parents divorced when we were little. Our mother got full custody because our father wasn't a good person. Then our father secretly took us away. I lived with my sister and our father in a cult for 12 years. It was a Christian cult. Homeschooled, forced to dress modestly, any type of independence was seen as sinning, etc. When I was 16, the cops finally arrested him, and we were reunited with our mom. The first few years of freedom were wild. We finally got to grow as individuals, experience normal life, and face our traumas in therapy. My sister became a tattooed, pink-haired career woman. I went to college, worked for a couple of years, met a good man, and decided that being a stay-at-home mom is what I really wanted. Looking at me, you would think that I embody what we were taught as kids in the cult, but that's not true. I find myself dressing in feminine clothes, taking care of my home, my husband, and my kid. I'm an equal in my relationship. I know how to assert myself, and am as far from what I used to be as my sister. My sister, on the other hand, doesn't think so. She takes every opportunity we meet to try and save me. She tries to convince me to leave my husband and my kid, push me to get a job, force me to go clubbing with her, and force me to get makeovers, etc. I finally had enough yesterday. She made a dating profile for me on Tinder, and she's been chatting with the guy and had set a date already. I was furious. So we got into a screaming match that ended up with me telling her, "You are exactly like Dad. You're both trying to change me to fit the idea of what you think I should be." She was shocked, didn't say anything, and just left. Her partner told me that she had an anxiety attack and is ramping up her therapy sessions. And now I'm feeling like an idiot. OMG, she needs that extra therapy. She set up a dating profile for you? Can you imagine the issues if your husband, friends, and family saw that? Not the idiot, OP. What you said is exactly right. She wouldn't listen to you before. Sometimes it takes a verbal slap in the face with reality to get through to someone. Her partner told me she had an anxiety attack and is ramping up her therapy sessions. Yeah, so what? She's on the verge of hooking her sister up with a complete stranger, jeopardizing her marriage and possibly her life and safety, depending on the guy. And now she acts shocked that OP gave her a verbal ass kicking over it? Nope, not the idiot at all. It sounds like your sister only sees your choices on a surface level. It sounds like her own trauma is causing her to see the negative of this, and she's trying to be the older sibling and protect her little sister. She doesn't realize you don't need protection. It sounds like you're happy and secure in being who you want to be. It's not your fault that she can't see or accept that. It almost feels like she's overcompensating for your lifestyle growing up while you found your middle ground. Something that I've learned, the people who visibly rebel the most tend to be the ones who are most similar to what they're rebelling from. The sister embodies this intensely, given her need for control. I really hope the two of you can resolve this. It sounds like you've dealt with a lot. I, 30 male, am married to a bi woman, 28. I'll preface by saying that I'm in no way bigoted. I've never had a problem with my wife's identity itself. The thing is, she's very vocal and showy about it. She has a lot of pride in things and clothes and whatnot. Sometimes she wears rainbow stuff, so there have been incidents when people think she's just gay and they don't realize I'm her husband. It honestly gets a little exhausting. She says that she doesn't like it when people assume she's straight just because she married a man, and she doesn't want a big part of her identity that she struggled with to be erased. Still, it feels like she's almost ashamed of me. There's a big end of summer pride thing. It's also to raise money for LGBTQ kids and whatnot. I have no problem with her going, but she wants me to come with her. She says that it's really important to her, and she even got me an ally t-shirt. I told her no because it's not my thing, and she got upset. She said that she doesn't feel like I'm supportive of her identity, and I replied that maybe she needs to focus less on her identity and more on her current relationship. She's been very icy with me since. I get that I probably was a bit mean, but still. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. I attend events like this to support friends and loved ones. I'm bi, but in a relationship with a man. He's not interested in politics or any events, but he goes with me to support me because I'm his partner, and he agrees with the cause. It's not like she's asking you every weekend. This time is important enough for her to ask. As her husband, you need to see that and give her support, not make it about you. You do sound like you have a problem with the fact that she's vocal and showy about being bi. Is she supposed to pretend to be straight just to make you feel better? And you said that she should focus less on her identity and more on your relationship. You're literally asking her to give up part of her identity just to make you happy. Hard, you are the idiot. Not the idiot. I'm a lesbian. My identity is mine, and I wouldn't expect those around me to throw themselves into pride events and LGBTQ plus expression just because it's something that I'm a part of. Pride events are loud, overstimulating, and crowded. I don't need a partner to tout around to proclaim myself lesbian. I am who I am. Likewise, your wife is who she is, regardless of whether she's married to a man or woman. The insecurities she seems to feel about being presumed straight because she's married to you are not something you can fix by sticking on an ally t-shirt. I do think a conversation needs to be had about how you feel you're being treated and how she feels a part of her identity isn't being supported. It seems like the issue's more about the perception of each other's thoughts and feelings rather than actual, truthful, in-depth conversations about it.